Look at the device you are holding right now. It is the most powerful weapon in human history. It controls elections. It starts wars. It defines what is true and what is a lie. We worship the men who built the modern world. We know Edison gave us light. We know Ford gave us the car. We know Musk gave us the rocket. But ask yourself, who gave us the screen? History books will tell you it was David Sarnoff, the general of RCA, the man who built the first media empire in New York City. But history is lying to you. The television was not invented in a corporate boardroom. It was invented in a potato field in Idaho by a 14-year-old farm boy who didn't even have electricity in his home. He invented the device you are watching this on. But instead of becoming a billionaire, he was destroyed by a spy who walked right into his lab. This is the story of the greatest theft in American business. This is how Philo Farnsworth won the war for the future, but lost his soul. Welcome to the Founder's Forge. To understand the tragedy, you have to understand the trap. In 1921, the race for television was already on, but the smartest men in the world, geniuses at General Electric and Bell Labs, were all stuck on the same wrong idea. They were trying to build mechanical television. They used spinning metal discs and mirrors to reflect light. It was loud, it was heavy, and the picture was a blurry mess. Enter Philo Farnsworth. While the experts were building complicated machines, Philo was plowing a potato field in Rigby, Idaho. He was bored. As he guided the horse, he looked back at the dirt, row by row, line by line. Scan left to right, drop down, scan left to right. And then it hit him. You couldn't use moving parts to capture a moving world. Mirrors were too slow. You needed something that moved at the speed of light. You needed electrons. He realized he could use magnets to manipulate a beam of electrons to paint an image line by line, just like the rows in his field. 6 years later, Philo found two investors crazy enough to believe him. He set up a secret lab in San Francisco. The windows were painted black. The police raided it, thinking he was brewing illegal alcohol during Prohibition. He wasn't brewing whiskey. He was brewing the future. On September 7th, 1927, he turned the switch. A single glowing green line appeared on the receiver. He had done it. At age 21, Philo Farnsworth had invented electronic television. But he made one fatal mistake. He left the door open. 3,000 miles away in New York City sat the most dangerous man in America, David Sarnoff, the General. Sarnoff was the king of radio. He believed RCA owned the airwaves by divine right. His business strategy was simple. RCA pays royalties to no one. If you invented something he wanted, he didn't buy you out. He sued you until you starved, and then he took it for free. But Sarnoff had a problem. His own lead engineer, Vladimir Zworykin, had spent $100,000 trying to build a TV, and he had failed. They were still stuck on the spinning discs. When Sarnoff heard a rumor that a farm boy in San Francisco had cracked the code, he didn't applaud. He panicked. So Sarnoff pulled the trigger on a strategy that is still used by big tech today: corporate espionage. In 1930, Vladimir Zworykin traveled to California. He knocked on Philo's door. He didn't say he was an enemy. He said he was a fellow scientist just stopping by for a visit. Philo was a genius engineer, but he was a naive businessman. He was proud. He wanted to show off his creation. He showed him everything: the glass seals, the electron gun, the magnetic coils. Zworykin held the device in his hands. Witnesses say he stared at it for a long time and then whispered a sentence that would haunt history: "This is a beautiful instrument. I wish I had invented it." The moment he left the lab, he rushed back to New York and recreated the device for RCA. Months later, David Sarnoff stood in front of the press and announced that RCA had invented the future. Philo Farnsworth wasn't just ignored, he was erased. Sarnoff offered Philo $100,000 to go away. It was an insult. Philo refused. He wanted his name on the invention. Sarnoff smiled and said, "Fine, then we will spend you into the ground." RCA unleashed an army of lawyers. They claimed Philo's invention was impossible. They claimed Zworykin did it first. They tied Philo up in court for years, draining every dollar he had. But Philo had a secret weapon. In the final hours of the trial, his old high school teacher, Justin Tolman, walked into the courtroom. He was carrying a crumpled, yellowed piece of paper. It was the drawing he had made on the chalkboard when he was 14 years old. It was irrefutable proof. Priority of invention. In 1935, the U.S. Patent Office ruled in Farnsworth's favor. The farm boy had beaten the empire. RCA was forced to sign a deal to pay royalties. Philo had won. He was going to be the richest man in America. But fate has a cruel sense of humor. Just as the royalty checks were about to start flowing, World War II began. The U.S. government banned the production of televisions. All electronic manufacturing was shifted to radar for the war. For 4 years, the factories stopped. But Philo's patent clock didn't stop. Tick, tick, tick. By the time the war ended in 1945, Philo's key patents were expiring. The moat was gone. RCA swept in immediately. Sarnoff flooded the market with millions of TVs branded RCA. He didn't have to pay Philo a dime anymore. Philo watched from the sidelines as the world fell in love with his invention, but nobody knew his name. The injustice broke him. He fell into depression. He turned to alcohol. In 1971, Philo Farnsworth died in debt. The only thing he left behind was a question: what is the price of being first? Philo Farnsworth was a visionary, but the Founder's Forge isn't just about vision, it's about leverage. Philo's mistake wasn't the science, it was the secrecy. He showed his hand to his competitor before he had the power to crush him. There is a brutal truth in business. First mover advantage is a myth. The pioneer is the one with the arrows in his back. The settler is the one who takes the land. Don't just build the product, build the moat. Because if you don't protect your fire, there is always a David Sarnoff waiting in the dark to steal it. This is the Founder's Forge. Forged in fire, built to last. See you in the next crisis.